I think that's the full background on the format. So I'm going to just introduce you to our first speaker, Alex Munt. Alex is a writer, director, filmmaker, music video. He's a lecturer at Macquarie University in the Media, Music and Cultural Studies department. He's going to be talking about his micro-budget digital feature called LBF.
Okay. Thanks, Nicole. I feel I'm lacking a mic here.
Take mine.
Can I stand up, actually? I think it's a bit...
Yeah.
I want to be able to sort of see the screen. Is that one on? Okay. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just going to play a bit of a teaser from from LBF the film. It's kind of a work in progress. We're sort of somewhere in between, somewhere between end of production and post production. But it's been a pretty flexible sort of enterprise. So perhaps if we can just play that little teaser, and then I've actually managed to sneak that in before the 6 minutes 40. So yeah.
You only get married because you're getting older and uglier, and then you're married, at which point it's probably a good idea to start believing in love. And if that satisfies some, that's fine, but I'd rather, you know, it's like skydiving. You all jump out of the plane together, and suddenly people are pulling their ripcords, getting married, settling down, and you go, oh no, just give me a little bit more time, and then it's like, fuck it, you know, who needs a chute? I'll just ride this one into the ground. Stop talking. I'm misunderstood. No, you're annoying. You only get married because you're getting older and ugly, and then you're married, at which point it's probably a good idea.
Okay, yeah, that's a little bit of a teaser. So I'm talking about LBF, which I call sort of a pop art film, which is a little indie, I guess, pop art film that's been made in Sydney. I've written, directed and produced over the last probably year and a half. I think, you know, feature film, hang on, that wasn't 20 seconds. Okay, is that how quick we're rolling? Okay, listen, feature film I think is a really hungry beast still. There's really innovative ways. So today I'm going to be talking about the innovative ways of making stuff and not sort of distributing stuff. But when you think about feature film, Screen Australia at the moment called low budget 1.5 million. So something like LBF is probably made for 1% of that or something like that. So really talking about the margins of that. It's an adaptation of a Perth novel, a novel called Living Between Fucks. It's a pretty subtle title by a young Perth author called Crabbe. And I suppose I picked up the book because I thought it would lend itself to a micro-budget sort of adaptation. It uses a lot of voiceover narration. I used a lot of voiceover narration from the film and so on. Are they really going at 20 seconds? That seems a little bit fast. Okay, listen, I put together the screenplay pretty quickly. That's not 20 seconds. Okay. Fair enough. Too many red wines. Listen, the screenplay I actually wrote on Blurb. It just had a lot more images than it did text, so I approached it pretty unconventionally. I don't think there's a whole lot of point keeping to the conventional guidelines of industry kind of standards if you don't have that sort of financial stuff to back you up. What I want to really focus on today is some collaborations outside the film industry, and the film has collaborations with Even Books, who are at Creative Sydney, Soda Jerk, remix artist, Hobo Gestapo, the photographer, Tangent Mag, and Greedy Hen. Now, I think that film is always talked about as a collaborative medium, but really that's only in a very insular kind of sense, and I think there's a whole range of collaborations that can happen outside the medium. The first one with Even Books, I will show you a clip. No, actually, I'll show you this clip first and then have a little bit of a talk about it, if it's going to play. Thanks. I'll talk through it actually. Okay, so this is the film. LBF the film crashed Even Books, who are an indie sort of book club who have these theme nights, they were using the Elbeth book as a theme night, so the film crew sort of rocked up there and crashed the kind of party. It's kind of illustrative of the kind of thing which we did in the book. The main character, which is Good Child here, played by Toby Schmitz, actually ends up interviewing. In the book, he goes around asking people what they think about love on what is called the Love Enterprises, what he's writing throughout the novel. This time, we actually had it with Vox Pops playing with this sort of beer bottle. So it's a kind of a way to take an adaptation into a different space, and also gate-crashing a live kind of event to give it that kind of immediacy which the film sort of required. The next collaboration we did was with Soda Jerk. These guys are remix artists. They've got this wall called the Library of Love, and it's basically 800 books with love on the cover. So it's kind of a lot more physical than a lot of their other stuff, but and it's still a sampling of different media. But we use that as a cinematic background, and so it's really just trying to give a certain level of production values by these sort of creative collaborations.
It's very popular.
Is it? Yeah, I'll take them, thanks. It's a company account, so I'm just loading up on love. What about Goodbye, I Love You?
It's good for book clubs.
Is it? That's it, no more. Except for A Little Love, and Obsessive Love, and The Love Child. That's it.
Okay, this way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's Toby Schmitz, who's come off doing Hamlet down at Benoit Theatre in Brisbane, and a friend of mine, Tammy. So it's also trying to throw together someone with a lot of acting experience and theatrical experience with somebody who's just beginning. Her boyfriend did the score, so things that actually kept pretty lo-fi in the film. The next one is... in the film, there are 4 different pop songs that actually structure the narrative, and the idea behind this that the pop song is narrative when you think about it in the sort of simplest kind of sense. The lyrics, the tone, the texture. So individual songs are sort of picked out to really tell the story. In this place, we've got one of the Hobo Gestapo photographers, Wes, coming up, taking photos of our characters, inserting them in the film. He's just basically given us his digital photos, and we've dropped them in Final Cut Pro's freeze frames. But that kind of idea that trying to really trying to get the other arts into the cinematic kind of frame as a micro-budget digital filmmaking kind of strategy.
Been right.
I think the songs is also quite an interesting fact where it really comes down to the fact that Toby, as Good Child in the main character, is wearing this sort of fairly classic kind of black suit. It's really just saying to him, listen, Fergus Brown is playing down at Oxford Arts Factory tonight. I'll meet you down there at 9 o'clock with a camera. So it's really just trying to have that level of immediacy attached within the film. The last collaboration is with Tangent Mag, who are the online fashion magazine. We sort of gave Gracie Otto, who's in the film as the dead girl, who Good Child has come home to Sydney for her funeral. We gave her a job as a model halfway through the script and halfway through the film, just because I thought it kind of might be sort of interesting. And this is really just working with Tangent magazine, again, just trying to enfold other arts within the cinematic frame. It kind of worked because Emmanuel Tangent speaks French, and this is supposed to be sort of set in Paris, so it kind of worked on that kind of level.
Trace a message on your skin.
Okay, that one came a little bit short, but okay. Listen, I think in terms of digital cinema, there are a couple of things which I think are quite radical. And first is that these digital SLR cameras with the Tangent sequence was filmed with your cinematographer these days looks like a stills photographer. He rides with a bag, sort of this kind of big, all available light and things like that. So there are some revolutions in digital filmmaking, but at the same time, feature film was a fairly unwieldy beast, and those collaborations outside traditional film industry paths is something which LBF the Film has tried to make. Thanks.